Right with the Wellington assistant manager Mike Jones after a 1-1 draw. Mike, it's unbeaten run continues. It's a point away from home. What's your take on it? Are you happy with the point?
I think certainly towards the end of the game, pleased to get a point. I think they looked the more likely to score in the end. I think they were growing in confidence. I think to still be unbeaten going into Monday and to have not conceded towards the end when I think we were under a bit of pressure, I think we'll take the positives out of that and hopefully look to build and see if we can nick 3 on Monday.
I mean, a great ball from Eggy, a good goal by Dom, 1-0 away from home, clean sheet up till then. Things going well. Did you think you could hold on when you was 1-0 up?
Yeah, I must admit, I felt first half I felt we lacked a bit of composure in spells. And I just didn't feel we were pressing enough. We talked about it at half time, we just weren't putting them under enough pressure, we were letting them have too much time on the ball, certainly in the middle third. And then in the second half I thought we stepped everything up a lot better and I felt we were in a bit of control, but then it's a little bit of a lapse in midfield. We don't do the pressing, I don't think we defended well enough for the goal and then suddenly it all changes and they've got their tails up and they're on top. So, you know, like 1-0 I would have felt we could have held on and nicked the win, but as soon as it's gone 1-0 I felt we were always on the counter attack at best. So I'll take a 1-0, I'll take unbeaten. I don't think we were fully at the races today. I think me and Dimo, in all honesty, will have to look at ourselves. I think we always do that first when the result doesn't necessarily go how we want or performance. We have to look at whether we've done the right selections and the right shape or whether we worked on the right things. But as I just said to the boys before we came out, I think if you're not at the races and you're playing a good side that knows how they want to play and plays their tactics well, I think if we can hold on to a draw and still nick a point, so it shows a little bit of mettle. So I'm pleased with that. Although it hasn't gone how we would have wanted, I'm pleased with the point.
We'll talk about the goal. You actually alluded to it that you were probably a little bit sloppy in midfield. Could you say that you could move the ball a little bit quicker when we had it? Well,
I think we've kept possession. We've been composed. We've moved it over to one side of the pitch, shifted it back. So we've moved them about, and then we've just played a 50-50 ball at best into the middle of the park, not contested for it, and then not contested for the second ball. And then I say we haven't defended as well as I would have liked, but we've made the defence have to make a split decision on the halfway line, and unfortunately it's a good pass through and the guys got through one-on-one and he's finished it well, so fair play to him. But I think whenever we concede we'll look at whether we could have done things better, and I think that's one that we haven't got to look very hard at, to be honest.
You made a few selections again, you know, changes in the team. No Ryan Golding, no Smudger in midfield. Can you talk us through those?
Yeah, we've had. I mean, it's been quite an intense few weeks start to the season with training and with games. And Smudger unfortunately picked up a knock early in the first half last week. Managed to run through the game, but his ankle had blown up, so he couldn't really. He wouldn't have got 2 games out of him this weekend. And then Golding's the same. He's been struggling all week. He hasn't trained all week. He could have started today, but we felt, I don't think we took Elmstead lightly, but we felt we would try and hold him out till Monday when we got a few people away. You know, but I wouldn't look at the players that came in and replaced them as having let us down by any stretch. I just said to Dimo there, I don't think I would look at anyone and haven't had a good game. I just don't think we've gelled as a team or played as well as we could do. And I think also you've got to give Elmstead some credit. I think they've played their game plan very, very well and looked very dangerous on the break, and it's made us have to sort of adjust and be a bit nervy, and I don't think we've played as well as we could, and it's the way it goes, unfortunately. But
did you think some of your subs did make a bit of a difference, where you did seem to get on the front foot in the final third and try and get wide? And
I felt all three of them came on and had an impact, and Jules right at the end, I thought he just got a toe when the keeper spilled it. So, but he's very good at that. That's why we looked to bring him on. He's very good at just ghosting into the box and popping up late. He thinks he's a striker, but he's a number 10 at best. But he's very good at just ghosting in late, which I don't think we had today. But I don't know. You know, we've got a big squad, and as I said before the game, I think me and Dimo are confident that we could pick an 11 out of any of the 19 we've got and not have to worry about people missing. So yeah, we've made a few changes. They've had a couple of people out injured, but it's very low on my list of excuses as to why we haven't performed. to be honest.
Let's not take nothing away from Elmstead. I mean, I thought first half they did well down their left-hand side. I thought they caused you a few problems, and they did seem to, want to get the ball out on this side and take on a player and get some crosses in. And I thought they give you a number of problems in the first half.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, very similar to Forest Hill last week in the sense that not in the way they play, but I think they knew their game plan. They knew what their strengths were, and they just played to it very, very well. And I thought they were a very good side. We knew they would be tough today, and we knew they would try and hit us on the break, and we knew they'd have a bit of pace. And I thought they utilised it very well, very well. I think on another day, maybe if we'd have been a bit more at the races, we could have held on and taken the 3 points. But as we said earlier, I'm more than happy with a point, to be honest. Even if the performance wasn't as we would have wanted, I'm more than happy with a point.
I'm giving the man of the match today. I'm giving it to Jack because I thought he made a couple of good saves.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we were particularly under the cosh or he saved things like the Alamo, but I thought he did make a couple of really good saves. So I thought I'll give him man of the match. Comments on the keeper? He's there and he's going to get out of trouble when you have to now and again.
Well, he's a very good goalkeeper, and like you said, I think that probably sums up the game. I felt like we I wouldn't say dominated, but I think we edged the possession in the second half and certainly looked threatening without creating too much. But then every time that they did break, they looked like they might get a shot away or force Jack into a save. And he certainly made a couple of saves. One brilliant save, which I thought was a goal in the second half. So I wouldn't argue with a man of match at all. But it gives you a bit of confidence having a goalkeeper like Jack, because he talks non-stop, as you can probably hear on your filming, but his presence and his kicking and his positioning and his saves and stuff like that, he can not be involved in games and can come up with worldies like that week in, week out. We've seen it, so it makes the defenders a bit more composed and a bit more willing to play out. And yeah, I'd say he's won us the point today, certainly.
He's helped with the team to make sure that you go away with a point rather than slip away with a narrow defeat.
Yeah, certainly. Look, and that's what we've said. I'm not trying to polish over what wasn't the finest performance, but we've said if when we're not at the races, we can still grind out a result against what will be certainly one of the more solid sides in the league, then we'll take that. We're not going to be able to click every week and play our attacking football or free-flowing football. It's not always going to work, and if you've got 3 or 4 people that it's just not working for on the day, it puts a lot of pressure on the others. So I'll certainly take a point today, and Jack was a big contributor to that. Yeah.
It is a bank holiday weekend, so if you could walk out of it with 4 points, you'd be more than happy, considering 1 game away at a decent team. Phoenix Sports Reserves, I don't think they've really got off to the greatest start. You just said though that we may be without a few players on Monday without letting them know your team. Is that 1 or 2 players working or ill or injured? Or?
A couple of people injured, a couple of people away. It's always difficult on a bank holiday, especially early on in the season. But then that's why we've got the squad that we have. I'm more than confident with the players to come in. I think some people have certainly staked a claim for Monday. I think we had an idea on what we wanted to do that we might revisit tonight and tomorrow. But yeah, they've had a slow start, Phoenix Sports. But as I've said in the programme notes, they're a well-run reserve side. They're there for a purpose, to blood the younger players and to play a certain way and to try and feed them into the first team, and they don't forego results, but it's all about the performance and the way of playing, so they can click on their day, and they'll certainly be, we won't underestimate them by any means, certainly not after today. So hopefully the side and the squad that we have available Monday will be able to take us 3 points, and it won't be a bad weekend, 4 points.
Right, well done today, well done on the point, we'll see you Monday.
Thanks Tom, cheers.